This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25, and it reads, "And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexities, the sea and the raised womb." And this is second Ezra 9, verse 3, and it reads, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people of the world." Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders who preach this word truthfully and sincerely. In the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. And shalom to the Akim, scattered to the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. In the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. And I say shalom to you Akim out there. And as you see, I brought out the two scriptures for the second Ezra 9 and 3. "For there shall be seen uproars in the people of the world." Now you got this protest. This was recently by Reuters, updated 15 hours ago as of January 7, 2023. And it reads, Peru, which is in South America, protesters clash with police in airport takeover attempt in Puno. And it says demonstrators block the Dazagrago border crossing point between Bolivia and Peru following a protest. And this is photos of this. It says trucks are seen in line with Peruvian demonstrators blocking the border crossing point between Bolivia and Peru. Trucks are seen, so that's continuing. A barricade seen in the middle of a highway as demonstrators demand early elections in the release Peruvian outlets. Demonstrators block a highway to Lima, which is in Peru, while demanding early elections and the release of Peruvian outlets leader Pedro Castillo. That's his name is, I believe, Salaki. And it says dozens of protesters attempting to take over an airport near border with Bolivia on Friday as an anti-government protest prompted police to use tear gas to disperse them. Protesters set fire to a police tank outside Incar, Monaco, Capa Airport in Jalisco in Peru's Puno region, according to images on social media and local television. Protests against President Dina Boluarte, if I pronounce her name, resumed this week after a 2-week pause following a violent clash in December that left 22 dead after the removal and arrest of former President Pedro Castillo. It says news outlets in Puno of Peru reported 15 injured and 2, including 2 policemen. The health minister did not immediately confirm the reports. It says Aden Airport of Peru, which operates the Jalisco Airport, says service was suspended due to the violent acts and lack of security. In December, protesters forced temporary closure of 3 airports in Peru. And it says demonstrators of Boluarte resignation, the closure of Congress, constitutional changes, and Castillo's release. The former president is serving an 18-month a pre-trial detention while beginning investigating for rebellion after illegally trying to close Congress and change a charge he denies. And this is another news article I want to bring out as well too, and pertains to the uproars of the people in the world. And I believe this is in Israel. And it says thousands of Israeli protests in Tel Aviv against Benjamin Netanyahu's far-right government. The Black Flag movement, which called to defend Israel democracy, is on one of the group's organization protests against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, announced that the demonstrations will continue next Saturday and calls for others to join the tens of thousands who came out attended tonight over in Tel Aviv. And another news article of uproars and people in the world, and this is in France, of the incident that happened, I say about 3 weeks ago. A guy, I believe he was like 70-something years old. He was a French nationalist. That was his background. And he went inside a supply or shop store when he took out like 3 or 4 Kurdistan people. And it was believed to be racially motivated. He had something against migrants or people that's of a different ethnic background. I believe that happened about a couple of weeks ago. It was like 3 people were injured, 3 people killed and 5 injured, even though the suspect is in custody. And you have this protest right here, I believe happened today, and it was across Paris and across Europe as well too. And it says, this is from Algeria. It says thousands march in Paris to protest unresolved killings of Kurds. Thousands gather in French capital to demand justice for 3 Kurdish activists who were killed in the city 10 years ago. It's another one of Israel too. I didn't know that. It says thousands of demonstrations had marched in Paris to express their frustration about the unresolved murders of 3 Kurdish females activists 10 years ago. The march, who were also mourning the 3 people outside of a Kurdish cultural center in Paris 2 weeks ago, in what prosecutors call a racist attack. It says Kurdish activists came and it says Kurdish activists came to the demonstration for Germans of Netherlands, Switzerland, and Belgium, and buses asserted by police and joined fellow Kurds from France in peaceful march in the northeast Paris on Saturday. It says the organization says at least 25,000 people from across Europe has joined the rally, but Paris police put the figure at 10,000. And it says the demonstrations were to time the mark of the 10th anniversary of the killings of the victims of January 9th, 2013. Candice was a founder of the Kurdistan Workers' Party, PKK, which Turkey and the United States European Union consider as a bad group. It says she was killed execution style with shots to the head. The other two women were killed in the same way. 28-year-old and a 24-year-old Kurdish of Kurdish informational century Paris. The 10th district says the demonstration carries banners which pictures of the 2013 victims. More than 1,200 people also marched in the southern French city of Marseille. According to the AFP estimate, local police said that 800 people took part in the march. The suspect in the killing, a Turkish citizen, died in French custody before the case has reached. Kurdish activists suspected that the Turkish intelligence service was involved in the murders of something, and Carl has always denied. While most marchers were Kurdish, the crowd also included left-wing French activists and some ethnic Turks. It says today we are here to support our Kurdish friends because I am Turkish myself, and it's very important because what is happening with the Kurdish people can happen to us as well tomorrow, says Ibrahim Halik, a Turkish man living in France. Turkish summoned French ambassador last week for what he called propaganda by Kurdish activists during a march to mourn 3 people killed in a shooting at a Kurdish cultural center in Paris. And I'm bringing out the scriptures again for edification's sake. Luke 21:25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexities, and the sea and waves won't. 2nd Ezra 9:3. And it reads, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people of the world. Right, because we've seen the continual increase of the uproars and the uprisings in the people of the world with these protests. That's sedition among man and spirit, and they should not regard their kings nor their princes. The people that's in power, they oppose it. Just like that protest over there in Tel Aviv, I believe they was posing the right wing of Benjamin Netanyahu, what they call it, And then I believe they're gonna have another protest next Saturday as well too, because they had the protest, I believe, Friday afternoon or Saturday. Because the time zones are kind of different from the United States and Israel, So you're having protests of that as well too, which we know that been going on and off, which is common, over there in Tel Aviv, Israel, Now you got Benjamin Netanyahu is prime minister once again over there in Israel, And then you have the protests over there in Peru. So that's what you call uproars of the people of the world. They should not regard their kings nor their princes, or they should stand the course of their power as well too. And I believe that's in 2nd Ezra 15 verse 16, I believe. So yeah, we're seeing uproars of the people of the world and uprisings of people doing these protests, even though it's common of we seeing, protests, but we're starting to see these protests and uprisings and uproars of the people of the world. It's increasing more and more and more, So with that, I hope this sit-down lesson was edifying. Of these 3 news articles that I just brought out, the protests in Paris, and the protests in Israel, and the protests in Peru as well too. So I hope those 3 articles edifying that I just read, along with the scriptures to associate with those protests. And once again, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders to preaching His word, truth, and sincerely. In the name of Yahweh Hashem, El Shai, Hashem Kakadash, and Shalom to the Akim. scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely in the name of Yahweh Shem El Shai Ba'Shem Kakadash. And until next time, I will say Shalom.